Good afternoon, welcome back to episode 2 of progress on our 2020 vines. There's been quite a lot of phenomenal growth on virtually all of the vines. The object of today's work is that I now need to have a really good look which are the best canes to maintain to allow the fruit to come on and grow into bunches of grapes. Not all the canes have produced fruit, majority have, so there's going to be a few difficult choices because I'm going to end up severing some of the canes that have got small florets on which will develop into bunches of grapes. As you can see, this is one of our Black Hamburg grapes, and there was the top of the vine last year. That's where it was cut back to in December. This is the growth on the main stem that I've encouraged to go up, tying as I go. And as you can see, this has now gone up right to the roof of the greenhouse. At the end is a tendril which needs to be removed, with the main stem being cut back to here. This is the same Black Hamburg vine. There's where it was cut back in December. This is a side shoot that I've encouraged to grow. It's a lateral, and what I want that to do is grow out along this tying wire, a geo. As you can see, beautiful florets already developed on there. That's going to be a nice bunch of grapes. So this lateral is going to be tied along this wire and terminated six leaves along from the bunch of grapes. So that'll be tied off, and then next year new shoots will come out of this and will be trained vertically. New growth producing, that's what produces the flowers and the grapes for what will be the 2021 year. This is another Black Hamburg at the back of the greenhouse. Again, as you can see, dozens and dozens of shoots, way too many. These will be pruned back this afternoon with a couple tied off. There's virtually a bunch of grapes going to come on each of these shoots. On the other side of the greenhouse we've got a couple of Gamay vines, and again the growth on these in the last 2 weeks has been just exceptional. That's where it was terminated last year, just at where my bottom finger is, and it's grown probably 700 or 800 mil, about 2'6" in 14 days. It's absolutely unbelievable. This will have to be again stopped off just at the top here, and similarly the growth on the side shoots is really unbelievable, but it's all due to the warm weather we've had, and there are dozens of small florets coming now which will be bunches of grapes. Again, these need tying off, and I need to select which ones I'm going to keep. Can't keep them all. It's just too many bunches of grape on what are still young vines. Here's a couple of lovely florets on one of the Gamay vines. Just below here's another floret. These are going to flower very soon. They'll then pollinate, and in a couple of weeks we'll have young grapes on there, hopefully. Pinot Noir vine here just at the entrance into the greenhouse. Again, exceptional growth this year with lots of florets that are going to become bunches of grapes, and these side shoots that have come off the main cane that I brought up a year and a half ago, that's put a new shoot out, and as you can see this is how I'll be tying off all the vines in the greenhouse this afternoon, and nipping the tip out because I don't want this one to go any further. This will be hardwood then next year. And again, from each of these shoots, a vertical lateral cane will come vertically upwards, similar to these down below. The green shoots that have developed out of last year's hardwood laterals will now be tied off to the tying wires. So just tying off a lateral to this Black Hamburg, and it's meeting up with the Pinot actually that's coming across from the other side, but we'll worry about that in a couple of weeks. So just tying this one off because it's got a nice bunch coming on it, so that will hold that there. Just make sure some of these leaves are out of the way. And then lower down, with exceptional growth off this lateral. This is last year's lateral, but unfortunately I've only got a bunch of grapes on one. It's just a very small bunch, but I'm going to keep that. But what I'm going to do, because there's no fruit on any of these other side shoots, just make sure I don't lose anything. They're coming off. That's this year's growth. That's gone. This one here, similarly, might seem a bit crazy, but that's what we got to do. And one more, just make sure there's no fruit. And it's left this lateral quite bare. But what it's given me is a much more room for this shoot, which I now tie off as well. It's given that shoot far more air and so forth. So this little bunch of grapes, or floret at the moment, just coming into flower at the end, that's taken all the goodness out of that side lateral. Here's a look at how quickly the vines have developed since 2 weeks ago, both inside the greenhouse and out in the garden for the vines of all ages.